We really need to be aware now, especially with all these voting rights being pushed back, and it seems to be, something. And you hear this all the time with the people that say that they don't see the need to vote and don't think it's that important. And then you hear the reason, or people saying, if it wasn't that important, why do you think that it's a certain faction out here fighting so hard to make it more difficult, and not easier, making it more difficult to vote. And with all these district changes, in the voting system. Uh, why is that so important? Why is it becoming increasingly more difficult for people to keep up with where they vote, what they need to bring with them to vote? And you see a lot of this going on now. And, we just have to be aware of that, because that's uh, one of the rights that we have that that was a long time coming. And it's a powerful right that we have, and being able to vote and being able to put people in position to represent us. But if we put them in there and then just let them go for themselves, the next thing you know, we see some of them just enriching themselves, and getting to a point where they don't feel like they need to even listen to us, because they'll get to a certain point and say, okay, well, I can walk away now, especially on the national level. They can walk away and be paid for the rest of their lives because they served on the national level of political office. And, you know, we, if we don't put the right people in, and make sure we keep up and be informed and knowledgeable about who we put in there and what to expect out of them, and to be able to tell them this is what we expect and hold them accountable, whether you like them or not. You still have to hold them accountable once you get there, because they're working there for you. And if they get there and they just do what they want to do, or listen to the big donors rather than the big numbers that put them there, you know, then that's a problem. That's a problem that we need to be talking about every day. We need to be addressing. We need to be making sure people know uh, their rights, and their rights, and making sure that it's less difficult for them to vote. But even when they vote, they put the right people in, and it's just a big thing, and everything coming at everybody at once. Is designed by design. I believe by design to keep us confused and out of sync. With something coming every day. Then you don't know which way to turn, and next thing you know, it's voting time, and it's primaries have passed you by, that you didn't realize, oh, it was a primary? Oh, I was so busy paying attention to the news talking about Iran and Israel and China and Russia. It was a primary yesterday. I didn't. How did I miss that? Because the news was concentrating on so many other things, and we have to know how to separate our need for entertainment news, who's getting divorced. That's good to know, but we have to know how to put that in its place, and prioritize what's really important, is in in these news cycles, because you see it intertwine, and you see, one minute they're talking about the war, and the next minute they're talking about uh, Cardi B, and I mean, well, who's getting divorced and who's suing who in the entertainment world and who slapped who, you know, um, and I like to know those things. It's entertaining to see that. It takes your mind off the heavy stuff for a while, but we just have to realize what's important, especially at certain times of the year.